is for A, copper, B, iron, C, tin, D, nickel.
Nickel.
The answer is Mond's process is meant for purifying nickel first, which is converted to nickel tetracarbonyl, and then on strong heating you get nickel. Next, notice that in certain metals, extraction, like iron from iron oxide, tin from tin oxide, like zinc from zinc oxide, like lead from lead oxide. Definitely carbon is used as reducing agent. Generally, ites, they use carbon. If you want to have sodium from sodium chloride, you can't use carbon. Why? See, the problem is here Na plus should gain electrons from somebody to become Na. To this dirty Na plus carbon cannot give electrons. You understand? Carbon cannot lose electrons to positive ions of first group, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. These elements are such a dirty rogues that they always love to lose electrons to everybody and anybody. And they want to lose electrons, they don't want to gain. If you want sodium to gain electrons, only reducing agent is electric current. Therefore, the electropositive metals of group 1 and 2 and even aluminum cannot be produced from their compounds using reducing agents like carbon, carbon monoxide, etc. They can be reduced into their metals only using electric current. In fact, copper is available as a copper glass, copper Cu2S, for example, or CuFeS2, copper iron pyrites. These sulfide ores are initially converted into their oxides to the extent. But the problem with copper is it loves sulfur to such an extent that even if I heat copper sulfide with oxygen, I get a small amount of cuprous oxide, some amount of cuprous sulfide. Copper plus 1 oxide, copper plus 1 sulfide. Notice that the entire sulfur is not leaving copper because copper has affinity to sulfur. In such a case, the process of concentrating the sulfide ore is by froth flotation. And now you want to convert this is concentrated by froth flotation. You want to get copper. In your hurry to get copper, you will treat it within roasting. Roasting is an operation carried out in presence of oxygen in a reverberatory furnace. Due to roasting, copper sulfide partially becomes copper oxide, but still by and large it remains copper sulfide. When this mixture is taken in a copper sulfide, copper oxide, this mixture is sometimes called matte. It is taken in a blast furnace. In a blast furnace, you will be getting matte to the copper ore. Copper ore usually contains iron oxide as impurity. The copper ore is treated with let me write it briefly. The copper ore is having a natural impurity of iron oxide. So you add a little bit sand to it and put it in blast furnace. Blast furnace is a very big heating device where you strongly heat the copper ore containing copper sulfide and iron oxide. After adding a little bit sand means SiO2. The SiO2 acts as flux. In fact, it is acid flux. It is needed to remove basic gangue. The iron silicate forms that floats over molten mixture of copper sulfide and cuprous oxide. This molten mixture of copper sulfide and copper oxide over which the iron silicate floats is called matte. The matte is kept in a pear-shaped. This is a pear-shaped furnace, and it is fixed here. It can be rotated. It is the mouth. In this, there is a lining of 5 bricks. Inside, you will be taking a matte, and you will be heating it with a blast of air and rotating. What happens is, because you are heating, the cuprous oxide reacts with the cuprous sulfide. The compound itself is oxide and sulfide. The oxide is reduced by sulfide called auto reduction. 2 moles of cuprous sulfide reacts with 1 mole of cuprous sulfide to give 6 moles of copper and SO2. This is called auto reduction. You are not adding carbon, you are not adding carbon monoxide, you are not passing electric current, you are not adding aluminum, you are not doing anything. Simply matte is heated in a particular furnace, and then because of the hot gases you are pumping in, this cuprous oxide is reduced by cuprous sulfide itself to give copper. And this reaction is called auto reduction. 1 mole of copper sulfide is able to reduce 2 moles of cuprous oxide to give copper, and SO2 escapes. When the copper is formed at the mouth of this furnace, you get a green fire. If you are getting green flames, you understand reactions over. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly notice, this is the impure copper block you got. From the impure copper block, as you are cooling, the SO2 gas escapes. As the gas is escaping, after cooling, the surface of the copper will be very rough. It is called blister copper. The blister copper is impure copper obtained that has some impurities. The blister copper can be further purified by melting it and mixing it with green wooden poles. Take long green wooden pole and mix the melt of impure copper. The hydrocarbons released from long wooden poles will remove the impurities and help in purifying the copper. This method of mixing with long green wooden poles of an impure molten metal to purify it is called poling. This is an old method. Modern method is take impure copper block. For that matter, any impure metal can be taken as anode and immerse it in copper sulfate solution. Take a pure copper rod as cathode. When you are passing current, here the copper metal dissolves at anode and it gets deposited over cathode. All the impurities which are there will be left out around anode. It is called anode mud. In copper extraction, sometimes anode mud may contain gold, silver. They are all impurities. There is one method to get ultra pure copper from impure copper by what is called electrolytic refining. So this is an idea as to how to refine impure copper metal. We have to quickly assess the scope of this lesson. In this lesson, you come across many words. You have to remember the names of the words. You will be also coming across some methods to remove the gang. They are called concentration methods, especially froth flotation, magnetic separation are important. You will be coming across certain furnaces wherein the ore is subjected to strong heating with the purpose of converting it into oxide, because oxides can be easily converted into metals. The process of heating the ore in presence of oxygen is called roasting. At the end of the roasting, the metal in question will become its oxide. Impurities like SO2, AS2O3, water vapor will be going out as vapors. If you are heating the ore in the absence of air, you will be getting again oxide. This method is called calcination. Furnaces are the heating devices. There are many types of furnaces, and a blast furnace is a particularly very tall furnace which is mainly used to produce iron and copper. There is a small description about blast furnace. Blast furnace name is coming because into it you will have a blast of hot air. It is worthwhile to notice that Ellingham diagrams clearly show what is possible, what is not possible. If you are looking at Ellingham diagram, the diagram is showing how delta G is varying with temperature for the reaction of 1 mole of oxygen with different materials. The graph of 1 mole of oxygen reaction with magnesium and 1 mole of oxygen reaction with aluminum, how it varies with temperature with respect to delta G is shown. Now it is very clear from this graph that whatever that is in bottom is relatively favored to give product when compared with the fellow which is in top. For magnesium to become oxide, the reaction is more favorable for aluminum to become oxide up to a temperature of say 13-15 degrees centigrade. Up to this particular temperature, magnesium loves to be MgO. Therefore, if you heat Al2O3 with magnesium, you will be getting MgO and aluminum metal. So, to remove oxygen from aluminum oxide, magnesium can act as a reducing agent up to this particular temperature. Beyond the temperature, the aluminum to give oxide is in bottom and magnesium to give oxide is in top. It means beyond the temperature, aluminum is the reducing agent for Mg. Notice at any condition, Mg is a reducing agent for zinc oxide, for carbon dioxide, for iron oxide, for copper oxide. Because whenever the copper oxide, iron oxide, carbon dioxide, zinc oxide, etc. are formed, the magnesium is in the bottom position. Have you noticed? Sir. Ellingham diagram is an important part, you should know it. We are looking at the extraction of iron from iron oxide. Iron has many words like magnetite, Fe3O4, siderite, FeCO3, copper iron pyrites, CuFeS2, so on. Generally, the oxide ore of iron is available in India. Now, this is added with First, the ore is subjected to either calcination or roasting to convert into iron fully into iron oxide. If it is a carbonate, it requires calcination to decompose. If it is a sulfide, it requires roasting to oxidize to give iron oxide. But once you converted the iron into iron oxide in the ore, it is mixed with the limestone CaCO3 and coke carbon. And this mixture is kept into the big furnace called blast furnace. Inside blast furnace, it is very hot. So to put this charge, there is a special arrangement called cup and cone arrangement. Through that special arrangement, you will introduce the charge mixture of iron oxide, limestone powder, charcoal. You introduce into blast furnace. In the blast furnace, from the bottom, you push very hot gases. The thermodynamics always helps you to understand that coke can reduce the iron oxide, and FeO plus carbon gives iron. Because of high temperature, iron can become liquid. If the temperature is not very high, iron can be solid. You will be getting carbon monoxide.
Excuse me, sir.
If the temperature is normal, you can get CO2. If the temperature is high, you get carbon monoxide. Yes, sir, your doubt.
So what is the portion for this week?
I already said on the Monday itself, the topic for this weekend exam is metallurgy. In metallurgy, what questions we are going to get, we are going to scan right away. But before we scan, I'm just pointing out that in nature, iron is available as iron oxide. Sometimes this iron oxide has many impurities. Sometimes in some areas, iron is available as iron sulfide, known as fool's gold, FeS2. Copper iron pyrites, CuFeS2. In these ores, there are so many impurities, high melting impurities called gangue. In order to get a metal, it is always easy to get the metal from its oxide. Therefore, the ores are usually converted into oxide form of metal. To do that, either you have to heat the ore in the absence of air called calcination, or you have to heat it in presence of air called roasting. By whatever the method, you try to get iron as iron oxide. Now that iron oxide is added with coke. Coke means carbon powder, charcoal. It is added with coke and limestone CaCO3. This mixture is called charge. So what is charge in the iron industry? It is the ore of iron hematite, which is concentrated, plus limestone powder, CaCO3 powder, plus coke powder. The charge is introduced through cup and cone arrangement into blast furnace. In the blast furnace, certain reactions takes place. Notice in the reaction there are two possibilities. First possibility is iron oxide can be reduced by carbon. Iron oxide plus carbon can give iron and carbon monoxide. The other possibility is iron oxide can be reacting with carbon monoxide to give iron plus carbon dioxide. Notice at low temperatures, it is carbon monoxide that is reducing agent. At high temperatures, it is the carbon that is the reducing agent. Please look at the reactions happening in the blast furnace. At 500 to 800 K, there is a lower temperature. Carbon monoxide is the reducing agent. You can get CO2. Your iron oxide hematite Fe2O3 reacts with CO2 to give Fe3O4 plus CO2. The Fe3O4 again reacts with carbon monoxide to give iron and carbon dioxide. Notice the carbon monoxide can act as a reducing agent for iron oxides at low temperatures. However, when the temperature is high, the carbon itself acts as a reducing agent. Are we very clear, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir.
You have to practice these reactions. The top part of the blast furnace has low temperature. You can say 1070 K. Bottom part where hot air is blown has a high temperature, let's say 2070. At high temperature in the bottom, they kept carbon as reducing agent. At low temperature, say at 1250 or at 1070, at low temperature, carbon monoxide is reducing. In the blast furnace, the CaCO3 decomposes to give CaO. The CaO will combine with the sand that is naturally present in iron oxide. Why are you adding limestone? I am adding limestone because I want to get a good flux for sand. Flux is that which lowers the melting point of impurity and helps to remove it. Therefore, here the flux is CaO. CaO is obtained by heating limestone. Students should practice these temperature zones and the corresponding reactions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is to be kept in the upper drawer of your brain. The blast furnace is used to get iron. In the blast furnace,
Find element transform equation. Transform equation. Find तो दिया हुआ equation क्या होगा? ओरिजिनल बन जाएगा.
Yes, sir.
hello, hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Sorry, we got a
Yes.
small disturbance. I'm sorry. I was wondering that in the extraction of iron, you have very simple thing. Take the iron ore, subject it to calcination or roasting, and convert the metal into 100% oxide form. Add limestone, add charcoal powder. That is actually coke. pure form of carbon, coke. And that mixture is called charge. Introduced into blast furnace, it is called cup and cone arrangement, so that heat energy will not come out. Through cup and cone arrangement, you throw a bottom, you will be blasting hot air. Therefore, bottom part is the hottest, top part is the coolest. Notice in the top, the temperature is around 800 degrees centigrade. That is 1070 K. At low temperature, carbon monoxide is the reducing agent. So iron oxide Fe2O3 will become Fe3O4, and the Fe3O4 can again combine with the CO to give FeO, and then the limestone will become CaO. CO2 goes out. The CaO is called basic flux that combines with the gang SiO2 to give slag. Further, iron oxide at a low temperature will become iron with carbon monoxide. However, at high temperature, carbon itself can act as a reducing agent. Therefore, in the bottom part, iron oxide is reduced by carbon to give carbon monoxide. When the iron is formed, it has many impurities, especially a lot of carbon. The iron contaminated with more than 2.5% carbon is called pig iron. If it is around 2.5%, it is called cast iron. Notice. Because the pig iron can be cast into different shapes, like your agricultural implements. Sometimes pig iron, cast iron are used as synonyms. Actually, to say that cast iron has more than, pig iron has more than 3%, that is 4% or so carbon impurity, whereas cast iron is having around 2.5% carbon impurity. They are really slightly different. Though common man uses them as synonyms, I would say that pig iron is having more impurity than cast iron. Cast iron also has impurity around 2.5% carbon. If you are removing the 2.5% carbon from cast iron, it will become wrought iron, WROUGHT. The wrought iron is the purest form of iron, no impurity. The wrought iron is added with chromium oxide to get chrome steel. It is added with manganese oxide to get manganese steel. Manganese steel is used to make helmets. Chrome steel is used to make surgical apparatus because it won't get rusted easily. Tungsten steel. So many varieties of steels are made from pure iron. Wrought iron or malleable iron is the purest form of commercial iron, prepared from cast iron by oxidizing the impurities in a specific furnace called reverberatory furnace. It has a lining of hematite. Notice that Fe2O3, because it is heated with carbon, gives iron. The limestone is the flux CaO, and the silicon and phosphorus are oxidized, passed into the slag. You will be getting very pure wrought iron. Notice wrought iron has higher melting point. Pig iron has lowest melting point. Pig iron, if you release from height, breaks into pieces. Notice iron is hard but brittle. Wrought iron is not brittle. Wrought iron is used to make sickles. Cast iron is used to make crowbars. Both are slightly different. In the extraction of copper, notice that copper has more affinity to sulfur. Generally, it is available as copper glands, copper pyrites. Sometimes it is available as malachite, CuCO3, CuOH taken twice. And the copper ores are available in India to a small extent. Copper oxide, if you look at in the Ellingham diagram in the top position, Therefore, any dam reducing agent like aluminum, like iron, like zinc, like magnesium, anybody can reduce copper oxide to copper. But we will find a still cheaper method. Without the help of any reducing agent, you can really convert copper sulfide into cuprous oxide. The cuprous oxide, no need of even carbon. It can undergo self-reduction with itself. So cuprous oxide reacts with cuprous sulfide. 2 moles of cuprous sulfide, 1 mole of cuprous oxide undergo auto reduction to give 6 moles of copper and SO2. But in the textbook, they wrote one more version. The oxide can be easily reduced to metallic copper using coke, but nobody will use actually coke. In actually process, the ore is heated in a reverberatory furnace after mixing with sand. Why are you adding sand? Because copper ore has iron oxide as impurity. Therefore, because iron oxide is a basic gang, we are using acidic flux SiO2. Now, the iron oxide and SiO2 give ferrous silicate, slag. Copper matte is a mixture of copper oxide and copper sulfide that is charged into a silica-aligned converter. This is having a pear shape that can be rotated, the diagram of which was not given in the book. When you are heating it at the mouth, if you are getting green flame, you understand reactions inside are over. Here the important reactions are iron sulfide will become iron oxide that combines with sand to give iron silicate, the slag. Copper sulfide is partially oxidized to cuprous oxide. 2 moles of cuprous oxide, 1 mole of copper sulfate undergoes self-reduction to give copper. When it is cooled, the sulfur dioxide escapes from surface, making a rough surface copper called blister copper. And similarly, zinc oxide can be converted into zinc by reducing the zinc oxide with carbon. Naturally, zinc is available as zinc carbonate known as calamine. It is available as zinc blend ZnS. If it is zinc blend concentrated by froth flotation and then subjected to roasting. If it is zinc carbonate, it is converted into zinc oxide by calcination. The zinc is a very low melting solid, so it can be purified by distillation, and by cooling it, you can get moderately pure zinc. I have something of some interest here. You can use electrochemistry to purify the metals, that is called electrolytic refining. Sometimes you can use electric current to get the metals. For example, if you want to get aluminum metal, you want to get sodium metal, potassium metal, the electropositive metals can be obtained from their salts by using electrolytic reduction. We discussed about electrolytic reduction to get aluminum metal earlier. I have 4 points to revise now. The aluminum oxide, alumina, Al2O3 2S2O bauxite, after purifying added with cryolite to increase the conductance. You will be adding CaF2 to lower the melting point. That molten mixture is subjected to electrolysis in a steel vessel coated with carbon lining, and you will keep a bunch of carbon rods fixed to copper clamp. The bunch of carbon rods fixed to copper clamp is called as anode. The steel vessel itself can act as cathode. Carbon is anode. When you are passing current, the cryolite Na3AlF6 contain AlF3 that will ionize to give Al ions and fluoride ions. The Al ions will take electrons at the cathode and aluminum is deposited in the bottom. The fluoride ion temporarily loses electrons to become fluorine gas, but the fluorine gas is not evolved from anode. Instead, fluorine gas reacts with Al2O3 in the molten mixture Al2O3 will become aluminum fluoride and oxygen gas comes. The oxygen gas coming out of the hot mixture will eat away the carbon anode. Therefore, carbon anode will become carbon monoxide and the size will decrease. So anode is eaten away due to its attack of oxygen on it. So frequently you have to change the anode rods. At the end of the cinema, you are getting aluminum metal. Okay, sir? This is of some interest. In some areas like Visakhapatnam, the copper ore is there, but in 10,000 kgs of ore, you have about 1 gram of copper. So this is called low-grade ore. In low-grade ore, simply what you do is, you take the low-grade ore and you add some sulfuric acid to it, or you add some buttermilk to it. Buttermilk contains a kind of bacteria. Either the bacteria or acid will dissolve the copper as copper sulfate. All the copper will dissolve and come into solution as a light blue solution. You filter the solution and then you bubble hydrogen gas. When you do that, or you can treat it with scrap iron. Scrap iron or bubbled hydrogen gas would convert the copper ions into copper metal. This is for low-grade ores. Notice, this is a note on extraction of metals, and you should read the lesson number of times. It is the easiest lesson, and we have talked about the extraction of gold, extraction of silver, extraction of aluminum, so on. Hydrometallurgy is used in all these cases. Low-grade copper ores, extraction of silver, extraction of gold, and also in extraction of what, sir? Concentration of aluminum. So read the lesson thoroughly. It is one of the easiest lessons to work out with, though it is a bit boring, but it is the easiest lesson and it gives you one mark in the final IIT mains exam. Now let us see some questions from this topic. I have shared you some material. Where is that material? It is there in WhatsApp, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir? No,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it there in my notes? It's not here. Yes, sir? Hello? Okay, I'll forward it again. Now, sir, your doubts.
Sir, can you please explain this polling method, Mr. Polling?
Wait, man. Wait, man. Wait, man.
Sir, it's less than 1 minute, sir.
Wait, man. If required, we join again. Wait a minute.
So questions is full chapter.
This complete chapter of metallurgy. Yes, of course. This is the topic. Sir, what do you have to look at? Try to remember names of